Welcome to the All Life's Hats podcast, hosted by Tanae Hoffman, where we talk about all life's hats we wear. This episode, I'm going to talk about realtor misconceptions. So this idea comes from me talking to clients or people in general, and some people don't understand what we do or what exactly a realtor is. So I decided maybe someone needs to explain exactly what it is. First off, realtor is actually a national membership. You can't call yourself a realtor unless you're a part of National Association of Realtors, which I am. If you're not a part of that association, you technically can only call yourself maybe a real estate agent or a salesperson. What's the difference? Like, why bother? Why bother paying that fee? Well, it gives you that extra distinction and that extra help, and basically it provides more tools for you if you're in the realtor association. Some people think it's not worth it. I think it is, but certain brokerages you're a part of, which is the company that backs you, makes it mandatory for you to be a part of it. So that's one thing. Realtors aren't used car salesmen. I say that in a sense where some act like them, but we should not have the icky feeling that some people get from used car salesmen. I personally don't believe in hounding people, being pushy, saying you have to use me, you have to do this. No. When you're a realtor, you collaborate with your clients because at the end of the day, they have to make the decision. It's up to you to pick what house you buy, what time you sell, how much you want to sell it for. We are your guide, but we aren't the end all be all. We have the experience to tell you, okay, this is how much your house is worth. This is how long it should take to sell it. This is what you should do to make it more appealing. We can give you all the tools, but at the end of the day, it's your decision. Now, like some of the people I've dealt with, it's some kind of personality clash to work with some people because they think they know everything. Kind of like their Uncle Bob was the mechanic, so they think they know how to work with cars. Or my sister's a doctor, so I know what's going on with my body. It doesn't necessarily work like that. Just because someone has bought a house before or sold a house before doesn't make them a realtor. I'm sorry. You may have experience with it, but you don't know all the background details. Like, for instance, the last 2 years in the real estate market has been an anomaly. The interest rates being 2%, 3%, anomaly. But the real estate market has definitely changed now. Houses that sold for a ridiculous amount last year can't and won't sell the same way they did this year. Just because your neighbor sold something for $100,000 or not, I wouldn't say $40,000 over asking price doesn't mean your house will do the same thing. I'm sorry, but it won't. Times have changed. Also, there's certain things realtors can and cannot do. But also there's things realtors should and should not do. For we just can't give you codes to get into people's houses. We have to supervise you in other people's houses. It's a safety issue. It's an ethics issue. And if any realtor lets you do that, you can get into serious trouble. We are not lawyers. So when it comes to contracts, if you have any questions for the legality or to how to get out of it, you have to consult a lawyer. We can steer you with advice, but when we skirt the line between. So that's why the real estate contract that is in place now in New Jersey is and was written by lawyers. But 9 times out of 10, if you get a lawyer, they will try to tweak it a little bit, which I do not understand. But it happens. Also, there's a difference between North Jersey and South Jersey when it comes to real estate. 9 times out of 10, you will not need a lawyer if you're in South Jersey because we have title companies who do all the research to make sure you can have true ownership of the property once you pay for it. In North Jersey, they don't use title companies enough. That's where the lawyers come in. Not to say you don't need a lawyer. not to say you don't use a lawyer, but they sometimes complicate and make the process a lot longer. I have one attorney that I use for every transaction when I need one. She's awesome. She's actually right down the street from our studio. Her name's Renee Bergman. If you need an attorney for anything real estate related, she's your girl. Quick plug for her. You should trust who you're working with, because a lot of the times people argue with realtors, argue with real estate salespersons because they think they know better. It takes a lot. Well, some people say it takes a lot, but we have to take exams to become a realtor. We have to keep up with CEUs every 2 years to maintain our licenses. So there's a lot that goes into it. We do a lot of market research. We do a lot of combing the neighborhoods, not staking out people to steal your house to sell it, but more, if you're a good realtor, you're researching the area you want to work people with so that you know what you're talking about. You want to be able to answer questions without having to Google it that second. You want to make it as easy as possible for people. That's our job, to make the transaction as easy as possible and go as smoothly as possible. I personally do a lot I go the extra mile a lot. And I also make sure we stay on schedule, because I'm kind of the person that hates being late or hates when things don't happen when they're supposed to. So if you work with me and you don't keep your word, I'm first on to make sure it gets done. So keep that in mind when you're a realtor. You don't work with someone that's just going to be all hands off with you. You have work to do, but so do I as your realtor. One of the biggest misconceptions about being a realtor is we just wait for things to happen. No, if you're a good realtor, you're trying to make stuff happen yourself. You're getting to know people. You're getting to know the businesses in the area. Get to know the people in the area. And that's how you form a relationship, because this business is relationship based. You want people to know you, trust you, and want to use you. You're just not going to use anybody you see on a billboard if you don't actually know anything about them. You're not going to use some poster kind of person. That's what astounds me about how many, especially if you're driving through Philly, how many lawyer posters are up, because it's like, I don't know about you, but I'm not too sure I want to trust every commercial or every billboard I see. So with this episode, I just want to implore you to make sure you work with and talk to somebody you trust. I'm here. I have a wonderful office full of lovely people that are willing to help. If I don't know something, I know somebody else will help you or will have an answer for you. So make sure you work and are with someone you vibe with and that you connect with, that will get you to the finish line. Thank you for checking out the All Life's Hats podcast. Stay tuned for more.